So more with angles in parallelograms, but now we're algebraically solving them. So there is an x present and we have to solve for x, or again, read the question closely and make sure it's not asking us for the measure of the angle. All of these are solving for x, but we will discuss the measure of the angle as well. So parallelograms are quadrilaterals. So we do know that these opposites are going to have to be congruent still. So 60 and 9x plus 6 are equal to each other. So 9x plus 6 is going to equal to 60 degrees. If I subtract 6 from both sides, it's going to be 9x equals 54. Divide by 9, because 9 times x, or 9x is 9 times x, and the inverse of multiplication is division, is going to give me x equals 5. This question does indeed ask for x equals 5, but the measure of angle D, or CDE in this case, is 60, because we know that it is opposite of B, and opposite angles are going to be congruent in parallelograms always. And if I know this one's 60, then I can also solve for C, because B plus C, those that are consecutive in this way, they are going to equal 180. So I know that C is 120. So once you have one angle in all these quadrilaterals and all these fun things, once they start to get into these properties, or they're named something specific from your list of properties from yesterday, then you can really solve for all of them. All right, so looking at 32. Q and R are consecutive, or they're adjacent. They're right here side by side. So that means that 12x equals 144. And if we're being honest, that is not right. I just wrote it and getting really excited here. 12x plus 144 is equal to 180. Because side by side is supplementary. Remember, opposites are congruent. So this would be 144. And whatever 12x is what t is going to be. So we're going to subtract 144 from both sides, which should give me 36. And 12x is 12 times x, so we're going to divide by 12. And x is going to be 3. So that means we know that this angle is 36 and this angle is 36. But the answer to the question is, what is x? So x equals 3. So again, you're just remembering that if they are adjacent to each other or consecutive in this manner, then they're supplementary, which is equal to 180. And these two are side by side, so they're equal to 180 as well. So that's at 4x plus 12 plus 120 equals 180 degrees. So it's 4x plus 132 equals 180 degrees, minus 132 from both sides. 4x is going to equal 48. Divide by 4. X is going to equal 12. So I know that 4 times 12 plus 12 is going to be this one. So it should be 60, because 120 plus this angle is 60. So you could have also equally known that because this plus 60 equals 180, that we know this is 60. However it works best in your head. And then down here, we've now got a diagonal in here. So that means this guy plus this guy plus this guy is equal to 180, because they are consecutive or along the same side. So as we're reading them in order, as we run around the sides. So that means 74 plus 55 plus a negative 3 plus 6x equals 180, because they are along that straight line. That means angle TSR, so the whole angle S and the whole angle R are a linear pair, if you can remember that from back in the days. So that's why they're 180. They are supplementary. So then we're going to clean up our like terms. So we have whole number 74, whole number 55, whole number negative 3, or constant, we should say, without a variable. And then we're going to put all this together. 74 plus 55 minus 3, because that 3 is negative. And we should get 126. So 126 plus 6x equals 180. We're trying to solve for 6x, so for that x, so we're going to subtract 126 from both sides. So 180 minus 126, it's going to give me 54. So 6x equals 54. Just going to give me 9 when we divide both sides by 6. So x is equal to 9. Now, 180 minus 74. So we talked about where you could do it algebraically, or some of you are going to do it where it makes sense, just like you're crossing things out. So 180 minus 74 is 106. So 55 minus 3 plus 6x could also be written as equal to 106. That's just doing some of this math before you start using the whole 180. So you just took the 74 away from the 180, and you could set it up this way as well if you want to stay with some smaller numbers. So again, we're over here on this corner. So W and X are consecutive. So angle VWX plus WXY are going to equal to 180. So 43 plus 22. So this whole angle. So we could write it out again. 43 plus 22, which is that whole angle, plus a negative 1, or you could put minus 1, plus 58x is equal to 180. We're going to clean this up. So 43 plus 22, because you could have also added those and then just started writing it from there. So 65 minus 1 plus 58x equals 180. So that's 64 plus 58x equals 180. We're trying to get that 58 by itself. 58x, get the x by itself. So subtract 64 from both sides. So 180 minus 64 is 116. So 58x equals 116. The 58x is multiplication, so we're going to divide by 58 on both sides. And that's going to give us x is equal to 2. So x is equal to 2 in that case. So again, you're just taking all the parts, solving for x. And in this case, it is asking for the value of x, not the angle measure. Make sure you pay attention, because some of these, you could know the angle measure without having to do very much math. So like 36, if it was asking for VWX, like it want to know what is the measure of this angle. If I know that 65 of my 180 is already taken, then I could easily answer that question without having to solve for x or do much math at 115 for that corner. All right, guys. Hope that made sense. See you at Tutoring or Live class if some of it's still confusing.